You're playing Blade wrong. Hello everyone, it's me, Mr. Machine, and let's get technical. Do you want to play Blade? Have you been trying to play Blade? Everyone who says his lifesteal isn't that great, his gun is better than his sword, and he feels a little underwhelming? Well, lucky you, because everyone is incorrect. Wrong. Now, why is that? Blade, the bounty hunter. Everything about Blade that you know as a DPS is a little bit different, which is why no one understands him quite like me, a Mr. Fantastic main, most flexible in all scenarios. Difficulty 3. Now, the thing about Blade here is he plays unlike any other DPS. Should you play him how I tell you. Now, of course, when we get to abilities, you think about the sword, you think about the gun, but there's a very key point that everyone disregards. The hunter shotgun. I want you to keep well of that first word, hunter. Because Blade is what I would like to classify as the bounty hunter of the game. Now, what do I mean when I say that? Well, everything in Blade's kit revolves around a couple of things. Distance and engagement. And mobility. You know who else does that? Hulk. Bruce Banner. The mobility tank playstyle is like what? Go in, make people waste resources, get out, and then get a kill once in a while. But most importantly is peeling for your backline. And who are the characters who, in the terms of hybrid, are really good at that? Well, that would be Hulk, Mr. Fantastic, and Blade. Why do I say this? Mr. Fantastic has his shields for both shielding his backline and booping the enemy who is to dive. Hulk has his shield and his Gamma Exile, great for getting pressure off. Now, why is Blade like this? His Daywalker Dash. Everyone puts the anti-heal on when somebody's diving or when a tank is about to, get into the front line. That is a correct idea to have. However, people don't realize about his secondary, the cleaving strike that inflicts a slow. Against any other diver, what works the most? Restricting mobility. Blade has that same thing, because the initial part of his dash is like a boop. It stops you in your tracks. If somebody is about to do something or is trying to leave, the dash stops them, and the slow then makes it further. Because here's the thing, why would you anti-heal a diver when typically, of course, a healer is not looking at them? And if a healer's not looking at them, they're not getting healed anyway. And even if they do get healed, as in some cases with people more like Magic or Mr. Fantastic who's diving, if everyone looks at you, you're still getting melted anyway. Or, an Emma Frost grabs you. So instead of using your anti-heal, you should be using his slow a lot more. It's not a damage move, it's a utility move. He is meant to be in the front line and then go into an off angle, set up an engagement, and then leave just like Hulk would. Which I will get into in just a second. And then it brings into Bloodline Awakening, everyone's favorite controversial ability. It says, oh, it doesn't bring enough lifesteal, it's not a good form of damage. Well, I will tell you all about it as we move into explaining. Okay, now that we are in practice range, let's go over a couple of key things. So, Blade. The way that most people are using him as of currently is trying to frontline with him too much for too long, soaking all their damage into the tank, trying to build up that ult charge, playing at a very specific distance, maybe getting a few headshots here and there, and then of course putting the anti on the tank and then having everybody shoot at them. This is not incorrect. However, you should add a couple more steps into this process, which again brings me into the Bloodline mode. What I've seen people have been doing is they go into Bloodline mode and then they start building stacks on the tank, maybe even using a couple of dashes here or there to get to 10 stacks, bully the tank, and then try to go in. Of course, as we all know, this is a little wrong, because the second you start doing that, the second you start frontlining, all it takes is one ammo grab, one CC, and you blow up like a balloon. So, the way to counteract this is the same as you would on somebody like Hulk or Mr. Fantastic. It's the ability to make them waste. You are baiting them into wasting those resources. So again, it's okay to start off with a couple of shotgun shots and then put the ante and say, oh, a team, shoot at this person. That is correct. Because it's going to get less healing, so if he's out of position, especially like a Thing who uses their charge to get in, or like a Hulk, right, use a dash, put the ante on him, the Hulk's going to want to move away, right, because he made you use a resource, so he's going to want to get away. If he overextends, that's their fault, and then they die for it. So you, as Blade, should not make that same mistake. For instance, if I'm here, and I'm shooting, waiting for my engagement, I say, team, okay, I anteed him, and then you leave. You don't leave him, right, but you leave the engagement. And maybe try to attack somebody behind. Because again, it's all about the flowchart of everyone's engagement. Everyone knows that when the healers die, everything falls apart. And when the tank dies, everything falls apart. If DPS die, they have the chance to come back and things won't collapse immediately. But that's sort of how the building blocks are. Which again, now we will talk about what we use the Bloodline for. Bloodline to me is used more as a half 1v1 tool. In a true 1v1, you're going to lose to a lot of characters simply because your lifesteal isn't as good at keeping yourself alive as it is while having a little bit more sustain, which to me feels a little bit misleading when you read it for the first time, which is why I understand that people are so confused by the move. When you're in the backline and you're diving, right, and you're trying to dive a DPS and they're getting pocketed by a healer, obviously you're going to lose that exchange, right? Even if you were to give them your silver bullet and have them with a little bit of reduced healing, you're still most likely going to lose that engagement unless you get, full headshots or they were close to dying anyway. So instead, we know to dive the healer. And that is what brings into the Bloodline. It's more for a peeling tool or when somebody is close to death. Why do I say this? Let's say a Black Panther is in your backline. Now, obviously, he's not going to be standing still, right? But if you are aware that he's coming in, he's about to dash, if you can land that singular E on him and he gets slowed, this is what your slashes are for.
You might want to stay down.
Now, time to kill seemed pretty slow, right? Well, if you have your team with you and you have both dashes with you, just landing one dash is enough. Because one, he's going to get booped and then he's going to be slowed. So if he misses his dash, or it'll stop him from using his dash as immediately, you can then lock it in with another boop in quick succession. Now all of a sudden, you got to max stacks almost instantly and he's dead on arrival. The same thing is true with Spider-Man. Spider-Man tries to leave your eyes, you just hit him with a boop and he's slowed, and then you obviously keep attacking and you hit him with another boop and he is dead. Blade is the bounty hunter. He is the person who watches the backline. He is the person who makes the other backline waste resources. And just like Hulk or just like Mr. Fantastic, if you know they've wasted their resources, like somebody calls out Loki Lamp or something like that, that's your time to then go in and dive and your turn to secure the kill. It's not about playing super aggressively. It's not about playing super defensively. It's about being a hybrid, which is also why I see him do so well against people like Captain America. Because the typical thing that you would think to do is immediately put the ante on him. Again, this is true if he is alone and no one's looking at him, but if it's in a normal team fight where he's diving, he's doing all that stuff, I find it's a lot better to put the slow on him. Because it makes him, what? Easier to grab, easier to CC in the future. You have a Captain America that's slowed, all of a sudden that sprint doesn't matter so much. And now your ammo can grab him even easier. Your Fantastic can pull him back. He can get blocked by the penny. All that stuff is utility. And that's why Blade is so good in my eyes. Because you can have that engagement where you're back here, Oh, I'm getting headshots.
Next time.
But let's be honest, the people using his shotgun are inconsistent. Most of the time, you're going to be trying to hit headshots, and then you're like kind of hitting maybe a couple little flashettes here and there. It's difficult, right? You want to aim for those body shots. You want to aim for that guaranteed damage. Why? Because eventually your enemy will make a mistake. And especially right now, because not a lot of people respect Blade, they're going to make even more mistakes against you. So Captain America, someone's going to try and 1v1 you, right? And if it's happening in a team fight, yes, of course, use your anti-heal, right? But if it's in that, oh, I'm getting dived while my healers are still alive, that's when you put on your bloodline. Because even though you get reduced healing, you also get lifesteal as well. Now, people think like, oh, this mode is used for that 1v1 engagement and is used to keep yourself alive. That's half true, half not. Just because you get reduced healing doesn't mean you don't get any healing. It just means you get reduced, just like the tanks when you put the reduced healing onto them. So it's not like it's completely useless. And so in this case, if a Captain America is diving you, you give him a slow. A slow is just as valuable as the anti-heal, and it's up to you to choose when to do that. Again, if the team is all alive, you know the Captain America is getting pocketed. The anti-heal is not going to be as valuable as slowing him down and letting your team all shoot at him. Right? But if he's, if there's one healer alive and he's just stalling on point, you can go for him and put that on. But again, you put it on him, tell the team you did so, and then switch your eyes to the healer behind and slow them down as well. He is meant to be intimidating. He's meant to be like Captain America, right? Or a more heavy Iron Fist. He's meant to be intimidating and walk you down. Why? Because now let's switch gears. Let's say you're going up against the best healer in the game, one of the best healers in the game, right? Luna Snow. Let's say you're in team fight happening right now. You antied the tank. Oh, things are getting, there's a fight happening. This is your time to then go off into an off angle and start hunting. You put that anti-heal on the tank, use a dash. You have one dash, right? Use that next dash to set up for your off angle, right? You start dumping into a support. Supports now are aware of you, and perhaps another DPS is aware of you. This is where you get into greed. You don't want to be too greedy, right? You want to use that block to soak in that damage and get your charges back, which is again why he is so similar to Mr. Fantastic and Hulk. It was designed for you to go in there, use your dashes, and then take damage to then use your dashes to leave.
Snack time already.
So again, in this case, let's say a support is about to die, right? And you know they are. It's another thing that's in Blade's kit, which is when somebody's low, he can start seeing them through walls like Punisher. Why would they give you that ability if not to encourage you, incentivize you to go after low health people? Because Blade is a bully. He's somebody who bullies those who are low health because he can secure the kill. Think like Warwick in League of Legends and the bloodlust you get when you see it, right? It incentivizes you to attack people who are low health because that's an engagement that you easily win. So, for instance, like I was saying, she's low, you know she's low, the other healer's not near her. Why would you put anti-heal on her? Right? She has self-healing. This is very true. She also has a snowball. She also has the clap, which again puts the self-healing on. So, but the other healer's not near her. So why would I put the anti-heal on her instead of just going for the slow, building up my stacks, and killing her? Right, you just saw it just there. About quarter health, right? I let my stacks go all the way out. And let's say I'm playing the off angle, right? I'm shooting, I got her to that. I'm gonna swap to my, blood form and then dash into her. She dies. In that scenario, she dies in a hit. Let's say I only get her to about half. Bad example. Let's say I only get her to about half. Right about there. Alright, same thing. Dash into her. She's dead in a couple slashes. But you say, oh, but what if she fights back? What if she snowballs you? That's why you have a parry. That's a skill expression. Just like Iron Fist, when you dive somebody, you got to be ready for that. If you lose that exchange, and she hits you with the freeze, she won that via the skill of it, right? You had the ability to block it, you lost the exchange. Well, the good news is when that happens to you, right? Let's say you miss, right? Or you hit it, she freezes you. Oh man, I'm screwed. Block anyway. Because obviously, if the enemy team is cohesive, they will turn around, start killing you. You hold the block, say, okay, I lost that engagement, soak in that damage, get back to 2 dashes, and run away. Now, who does that remind you of? That reminds me of Captain America, Hulk, Mr. Fantastic, and Iron Fist. However, like I said, it's more similar to Mr. Fantastic and Hulk than he is to anything else. So, once again, going over the typical game plan is starting off, poking with your shotgun because it is the most damage he has. And then when the team is diving, and you know that the rest of the team is alive, that's when you use the anti-heal, right? Because it boops them, gets them out of their stuff. Or when you know they don't have anything, you slow them down with your blood form. Because slows are more painful than anything else in a diver's kit, or anybody who's diving for that matter. Slows are lethal. And then combine it with your team who can do a CC, they're guaranteed dead. And let's say a diver is trying to 1v1 you, making the wrong decision going after you and not your healer, you can still be in blood form because you get reduced healing, but it's not fatal. Take that against a person like Magic who wants that to happen, right? Let's say they make the wrong choice. They don't go after the healer, they go after you, and your healer's still alive. Your healer's going to pocket you. And instead of putting the anti on the Magic who's not getting healed and can't heal herself, that's when you put the slow on her, because it builds your stacks immediately fast, and now all of a sudden at 10 stacks you win that fight, no problem. Now we get into how we should use the ultimate. The ultimate, if you are playing more sort of like a babysitter type of blade, along with doing hybrid diving as well, your ultimate is very unique in the sense that you can use it and lose it, right? It's a use it or lose it. Once you get it, you use it. In 2 types of scenarios, or that's wrong, 3 types of scenarios. The first type of scenario is execution, right? It's okay to use Blade's ult to not get the entire team. It wasn't made for that. Blade's ult was meant to take up space. It's meant to control choke points, right? Just how they showed us you in the trailer. What does he do in the trailer? He ults into a bunch of Loki lamps, he ults into a Punisher on a turret. Those are the main types of engagement you should be looking for when people are really grouped up and they can't choose to move somewhere else, right? You could even use it as kind of a utility as well. Oh, Scarlet Witch is about to ult. Loki put down the lamps. You can ult along with it and maybe even get a kill, but destroy the lamps, right? Basically, you just want to use it when everybody is grouped up as much as possible, because most of the time when you ult, people are going to run out of it. It's very easy to run out of. What isn't easy to run out of, though, is that initial 100 damage. That initial 100 damage is what is saving you most of the time when you think about your ult. Which again brings me into the second scenario, which is using it in a support ult. Now we know with ults like Mantis, it doesn't really work. With ults like Luna, you have to have a little bit more team coordination. You get the most value, at least I would say, out of things like ulting a Rocket or ulting a Invisible Woman. But again, both those characters have the ability to dash out. So the most consistent one is probably Rocket. But also, if your team coordinates, you can just shoot that down. So yes, you get anti-heal during the ult, but the likelihood that you're going to be able to do it and your team will have coordination is not very high. That doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, that just means you should be aware of what you're doing and decision making. Now we bring into the third, which is selfishness. Blade's ult, like I said, is an execution tool, and if somebody decides to stay in the ult, they lose via the lack of their own skill. So, again, you see, right, you're hunting, you're in your hunter mode, you go to an off angle with your dash, and you see, oh man, that healer's really low, both of them, they're really low. They turn, they're starting to heal each other. Blood form, dash in, and get the kill. Right?
Foolishness.
Because again, most of the time, they are going to leave, right? If it's Inviswoman, she's jumping out. If it's a Loki, he's ruining, or he's teleporting out. Rocket, dashing out. Jeff, dashing out. Everybody has an escape tool, except for maybe Adam Warlock, but he could also just walk out of it. If he has a one heal, he's saving himself. Now he's going to be close to death, but he will save himself. It is an execution tool, and you need to stop thinking about it to get maximum value. Maximum value is 1 or 2 kills. A kill is a kill. A kill on a support is even more valuable than that. So you need to get more selfish with it. It's like other ults in the game, you know, you don't need to get the entire team in your ult. Sometimes it's okay just to shut one person down. Even as selfishly as, let's say, a Hawkeye just ulted, right? A Hawkeye just ulted, he's half health or whatever. You can go right up into his grill, you know, hit him with the slow, and then immediately just dash into him. Sure, he has the ability to jump out, but more often than not, you are going to kill him before he may kill you. Now, of course, if you were just walking straight up at him, he's just going to murder you. This is, again, assuming that you are doing the bounty hunter style, getting to an off angle with a dash. You see, oh, he's doing that. You're behind him. Hit him with that quick E and immediately dash into him. You see what I'm saying here? So now, taking all that accountability into action, let's go over what I have just said. Blade is a hybrid DPS, like a dive tank or bruiser, but more importantly, he is a bounty hunter. And a protector, too. He was made for the engagement of somebody diving your team and then wasting resources in diving the enemy team. Just like how Hulk would play. Oh, nothing's really happening, there's no angles. Oh, okay, let me go back to poking. Let me just poke into the front line. Oh, both teams are distracted? Okay, let me dash up to an off angle. Let me get that healer back here. Oh, the healer's half health? Okay, it's time to go blood mode. Let me dash in, I'm gonna speed them down and then kill them. Oh, I can't. Shield in, and then dash to get away. Oh man, I have my ult. Let me look for a location. Okay, I know Luna just used her ult. Okay, it's about to be over. Okay, everyone's looking at her. Oh, she went below half health? Okay, let me dash into her.
I can get used to this.
It's utility. Right? Oh, somebody's low? Let me change targets, slow them down, and start eating them alive. Right? He wasn't made to do quick burst damage. He was made for the sustained takedown of somebody, to bully somebody out of the fight. That is how you play Blade. He is a protector, and he is a resource waster. Just like Mr. Fantastic, just like Hulk, he was made to be played with a team. So go on out there and be the bounty hunter for your team, and be the protector. Happy hunting!
Say I love you, I can do